All right, let's talk about AI success. How do we really measure it? Because, it's not as straightforward as you might think. Let's dive in. Check this out. This quote just hits the nail on the head, right? We're so quick to point fingers at a bad algorithm when an AI product fails. But what if the problem isn't the code? What if it's us, the users? It all comes down to whether people actually adopt it, trust it, and stick with it. Okay, so put yourself in this scenario. You're a product manager, right? Your team just rolled out this brand new fraud detection AI, and the numbers are in. A whopping 92% accuracy. I mean, that's amazing. You're probably thinking, time to pop the champagne. The team's celebrating, everyone's high-fiving, it's a huge technical win. But what if I told you that product was a total flop? A complete failure out in the wild? So what gives? How can a model that's 92% right go so horribly wrong with real people? That's the mystery we're going to solve today. And this brings us to what I like to call the accuracy illusion. It's this super tempting trap we all fall into, thinking that a high score on some technical sheet means we've built a successful product. Let's peel back the layers and see what that 92% was really hiding. So here's what was actually happening on the ground. The fraud team, they didn't trust the AI's recommendations at all, so they just kept double-checking everything by hand. Any efficiency gain? Poof, gone. And the complaints from customers? They just kept rolling in. And get this, the company's actual fraud losses? They didn't budge, not one bit. The core business problem was never solved. And no surprise, after a little launch day spike, usage just plummeted. So you see, the real problem here wasn't the 92% accuracy. It was our obsession with it. To really get what makes AI work, we have to look beyond the model itself and start focusing on the human side of the equation. And this leads to a massive shift in how we should think about our jobs. We don't ship precision, we ship experiences. Our goal isn't just to build a technically perfect algorithm. It's to create something valuable, something trustworthy, something that actually solves a real-world problem for a real person. Okay, so if accuracy isn't the be-all and end-all, what should we be looking at? Well, we need a whole new scorecard, one that's focused on the user. These are the metrics that'll tell you if you're actually creating value or just building something that looks good on paper. So here's the new scorecard. We're talking about things like task success rate. Are people actually getting done what they came to do? Time to resolution. Are we making their lives faster and easier? Adoption and retention. Are people even trying it? And more importantly, are they coming back? And then there's this really interesting one, override rate. How often are users just ignoring the AI? And finally, the big one, user sentiment and trust. How do they feel about the whole thing? Let's double-click on that override rate for a second, because it's probably one of the most powerful metrics on this list. It's a direct, unfiltered signal of trust. Think about it. If a user is constantly having to fix the AI's mistakes or just blows right past its suggestions, who cares if your model is 99.9% accurate? They just don't believe in it, plain and simple. Now, when you put two of these metrics together, like retention and override rate, you start to see a really fascinating picture emerge. You can actually tease apart the difference between someone using your product out of habit and someone using it because they genuinely trust it. You see the difference here, right? Retention asks, will they keep using it? It's all about long-term value and stickiness. But override rate asks a totally different question. Do they trust it right now? It measures that in-the-moment confidence. And if you have high retention, but also a high override rate, that's a huge red flag. It means people are using your product, maybe because they have to, but they don't actually rely on it. So what does this all mean for the big picture of building AI products? Well, it completely reframes the real job of the technology itself. And this is probably the best analogy I've ever heard for it. Think of your model metrics, accuracy, precision, all that stuff, as the engine. You need to know if the engine is technically sound, right? Of course you do. But your user metrics, that's the car. Does the car actually get people where they need to go? Is it safe? Is it enjoyable to drive? Because let's be honest, a perfect, gleaming engine sitting in a car with no wheels is completely, utterly useless. So the key takeaway here can be boiled down to a super simple two-step process. Step 1, use your model metrics to confirm the system is technically capable. Check that box. But then, step 2, and this is crucial, immediately pivot to your user metrics to see if that technical capability is actually delivering any real-world value. And you know what? This way of thinking isn't just for AI. It's really the foundation of any great product management. It doesn't matter if you're building a super complex AI or the simplest little app. At the end of the day, success always comes down to creating real, tangible, measurable value for your user. So the next time you're in a meeting about an AI product, I want you to challenge your team. Shift the conversation. Move from asking how accurate is the model to how much value does this create for the user? Because the products that really win, the ones that change the game, aren't just technically brilliant. They're the ones that solve real problems, earn our trust, and become totally invaluable. So, let me ask you, what value are you creating?